in season 7. So sort of spoilers. I'm sorry about that, but you know that's out there. I mean, but she went to I'm gonna mess up the name of the city, but she went somewhere to get an army.
She was
Volantis.
Old Volantis.
Which is where Robb Stark's wife was from, I believe.
Yes.
Way back when.
And maybe where Varys is from.
Yeah. All right. So I want to get right into our scenario because I have a good scenario for you guys this week. So as you guys know, as the listeners of our show know, at the end of this show, I always put together sort of a scenario for the guys to react to. And Beth, I want you to be a part of this as well. And also make sure that you guys, quick plug, check out the proper Hold On To Your Butts podcast, which actually just came out with our episode number 21. We're able to drink now as a podcast. There's some discussion over what milestone we should consider, either 20 or 21 on the show this past week. But that's posted now, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to like us, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, however you get your podcast. Make sure to drop us a review. That really helps us out so that other people can enjoy some of this knowledge we're dropping on you here with our Game of Thrones. And then the regular podcast, if you haven't listened to that, it's all about sort of entertainment in general. So video games, comic books, entertainment, TV, anything like that. So make sure to give us a listen. We'd really appreciate it, and share it with your friends. So this is the part of the episode where I give a scenario to the group, and Whose Line Is It Anyway style come up with a scoring system that means nothing but to my own self, and I will come up with a winner based off of nothing other than how I feel. So today's scenario, guys, and if you one more plug, and then we're gonna get there. If you want to give us a scenario, you can always reach out to us at Geeks. That's GEEKS at HOTYB.co. Joe?
Yeah, we had some call-ins or write-ins. Shout out to Ryan. He participated in the battle. Well, 3 armies would you put together? We'll have to read that on the air sometime. But anyways, if you want to also play and post,
absolutely. Yep, and we will, and actually we will get better at reading some of those responses here on the air. We went a little long this week, but this was a big episode. In our defense, this was a big episode.
Things happen.
All right, so today's scenario, no more plugs. We're getting right to it. There has been a lot of talk recently from HBO and showrunners about doing a spinoff on Game of Thrones. And there's been some theories tossed out there. So what I'm asking from you guys is to give me your best spinoff from Game of Thrones. What you think would be the coolest thing to explore further. Now, we don't have to get super detailed into like characters or anything like that, but I'm just curious, like timeline or storylines that you would like to see maybe fleshed out a bit more. What would be the best possible Game of Thrones spinoff for you guys?
All right, I'll go first. Just give everybody else time to think, unless anybody has questions about what it would be. So,
question round close.
That was quick. I think the question was pretty straightforward. So, mine would be MTV Cribs, Westeros, and they would be just touring through all the old castles as if you were, the host of MTV Cribs with, like, the lord and lady of said castle at the time. So you can only imagine, like, Jon Snow as the Lord of Winterfell walking through the latrines of Winterfell and being like, this is where the magic happens, right? So,
boom.
Yeah, I feel like one thing we don't get a lot from the show is we've seen a lot of, like, singular rooms from King's Landing, and we've seen, like, the main throne room, but we don't get a lot of, like, the actual castles themselves or the actual lord houses themselves. So I would honestly like to just see more of that in general, but I also think it'd be hilarious to be like a spoof show. Just be like, yeah, what's your ride look like? Well, this is my white horse.
That's my whip.
Yeah, that's what we're riding the whip.
All right, so mine is something I talked about earlier. I would go with Westeros Dirty Jobs, hosted by whoever their Michael Rowe would be.
Yeah. Probably the Hound, I feel like.
And we talk about it, but like, we talked about the maid and having to change the sheets is really bad, and it would just be so funny because all of those people, you never know who's baling the hay. You don't know. We got the kind of poop and soup montage in the first episode.
Poop and soup.
But man, it would be interesting to just see the minor characters who obviously are extras on the show but get zero love.
I'm so glad we all decided to go with reality TV.
Is there any other kind?
Well, so I remember from years ago. There was this show on E! Entertainment Television about plastic surgery. That's right. I can't remember what it was called.
No. You have the new one. You've botched.
It could probably be that. Sure, let's go with that. I would love to see, like, the pilot episode would be, this is how Varys lost his
Oh, man.
But it could also go for, like, this is how all the Unsullied, like, it would, like, so you'd have one really good episode.
Just a bunch of penises getting
Yeah,
cut
it's a bunch of penises getting cut off. But you'd, like, have one really good episode where this is how Varys lost his everything to this black magician. But then, like, all the Unsullied. He's not a black magician. He practices.
We got it.
The description of that show could have used a brand synopsis.
Yeah.
Less
Got
is
it.
more.
Beth, your spinoff idea.
Jesus.
Something Twilight.
All right. So can I give like a qualified answer here?
Yeah.
So I was gonna go with the serious answer, which is I want a prequel. I personally want to know like what started all of this shit, right? So that's where I was going.
Do you mean like over to like the Mad King?
Right, like when Ned Stark was a boy, right? Like I want to know what happened way back when Varys was a kid. Like I want the when the adults were the kids, what was happening, right? Like I want the prequel.
Like Muppet Babies.
Right, like Muppet Babies. Okay, so that makes this
Tiny
more
Toons.
fun. Seeing as how clearly I'm out of my league here because you guys went in a much different direction than I did, I'm going to go with a real world theory here. I think lock a couple of the characters up in a house together and force them to
7 strangers who
yeah.
don't know each other pick to
Right.
live together.
Pick to live together and
Real World
force
Westeros?
Real world Westeros. That's where I'm going.
Oh, nice.
One player from each house.
Yeah.
Can we just spin off like video submissions from each person? Can you imagine what Cersei's like? I just like dream about revenge all night.
Oh my god.
One step beyond that, you
Can
could
imagine
just
the
do.
dialogue, the video diaries of those characters?
You could just do the one step further and go the real world road rules challenge.
Oh, yes.
Because that's basically what we've already got.
Yeah, we're essentially, I think Seth nailed it, we're looking at the new Real World, right? You guys are ridiculous. All right, here was my idea for one. So I like the idea of a spin-off, and these are all just in the ridiculous category, of course, but the idea of a spin-off that takes place in Westeros in modern times, quote unquote. Sorry.
Someone got a message.
So like let's pretend that, you know, this, if we had to put a time period on this show in our history, you're looking at like the 1600s maybe or earlier.
1300s.
1300s.
Again, it's based off the War of the Roses in England.
So yeah, like 1300s or whatever. So I'm talking about like a modern day take on that, where we've got like two sort of like Mulder and Scully type folks who are like investigating some of the ruins and like old things that took place in Westeros, and there's like some spiritual voodoo still around, and do they find a dragon egg and stuff like that? I think that'd be pretty cool.
I dig it.
I like it.
Thanks, guys.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for today. I'm sorry for the long episode, but I'm not sorry. There was a lot to cover, and we really appreciate you guys sticking around. Remember, again, subscribe, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, however you listen to your podcasts. Reach out to us at Geeks, that's GEKS, at HOTYB.co. We're also on Twitter now, sort of. We have no graphics or anything else, but you can reach out to us at, what is it again? HOTYB_show. If you want to tweet at us, please do so. Okay, and with that, today's outro sound effect goes to Seth. Seth, give us an outro sound effect.
Putting me on the spot.
What was that? I didn't like it.